Hey everyone. Hey. I'm Aisha. I'm graduating this month from Harvard with a degree in education. Speaking of useless things, my ex-husband called me yesterday. Okay, that's not entirely true. The ed degree isn't that useless from Harvard. Like, the Harvard name does take you places. Like, and one of my friends was telling me how he's been using it to get into girls' pants. Yeah, it's really been working for him. And and also my degree is in educational leadership, which means I have the skill set I need to start my own cult. I mean, think about it. Think about all the great cult leaders, like Charles Manson, Jesus. What were they, if not excellent, awe-inspiring educational leaders? What is a cult if it's not a learning experience, a very compellingly designed learning experience that ends with a mass suicide and or orgy? And I know during the pandemic, we all kind of like realized, oh fuck, we need teachers, they're super important. But nobody really realized how powerful teachers are. And I know this because there would be a very stringent vetting process otherwise. Like right now, it's kind of just like, hey, do you know things? Are you older than these minors? Would you like to be paid $12 a month? And here, take 27 to 30 of our nation's youngest and most supple minds and stay with them in a room for 10 months. And every year I'd be teaching, I'd be like, man, I have the power to turn these 27 to 30 young minds into flat earthers. You know, it's really easy. All you have to do is like kind of make it rhyme. So you're kind of like, hey kids, sing with me. A, E, I, O, U are vowels, and sometimes Y and W too. The moon landing was a hoax, and the government is lying to you. Great job, kids. Now say, thank you, Miss Aisha. We love and worship you. But honestly though, the ed school has been great. I've met the most best people there. We care about people, we believe in them, we believe that everyone can be a better person. And just like last night, I went to a party with some of my ed school friends.
I wasn't at this party.
Ooh, awkward.
Wait, what?
Maybe it's because your toxic trait is interrupting people. So at this party, we started playing Never Have I Ever, but the ed school version of it, which is basically the same thing except we can't afford the alcohol we're drinking, and we add a growth mindset component. So when someone's like, never have I ever had a threesome, we're like, you haven't had a threesome yet. But if you believe in yourself and get two other people's consent, anything could happen. But one of my problems with Never Have I Ever is that whenever we play it, someone will always bring up the Mile High Club. Which, if you don't know what that is, that's when someone lies about having had sex in an airplane. Because, I mean, who the fuck is having sex on an airplane? Do you know how dry your skin gets? Like, it's basically like sandpaper. I think if you were to attempt to give someone a handjob on an airplane, it would create so much friction that it would start a fire. Okay. Okay. Also, okay, another problem that I have at parties is that I kind of like give off this vibe of like someone who knows what's going on all the time. You know? Like I've been told that I have like resting mommy face. Like I have snacks in my pocket, which I do, but like that doesn't mean I know where your socks are. Also, this resting parent face syndrome, it's kind of like, it's been terrible for me because I'm also bi, which means that I attract people with both mommy and daddy issues. Yeah, to give in to everyone's validation needs. Okay, so I am bi, but sexuality is really complicated. And it's not that simple, you know? I realized the other day that my sexual orientation depends on who's asking. Yeah, so like for example, if a girl approaches me wearing cargo shorts and a plaid shirt, and she's like, hey, can I get you another drink? I'll be like, yeah, thank you, I'm gay. But if a guy approaches me wearing cargo shirts and a plaid shirt, and he goes like, hey, can I get you another drink? I'll be like, yeah, thanks, I'm gay. But also, sexuality is also super confusing. It's something that it's even more complicated because it's something you figure out as you grow up and you go through things. Like for example, I was married for 10 years to a man, then I got divorced, then I dated a few women, and then I realized that I'm exclusively attracted to narcissists. And the thing is, like, I feel unseen. And because there's like no color in the pride flag for me, there's no letter. What do you even call it? Like you have pansexuals who are kind of like, oh, we're not attracted to your dick or your vagina, it's the person inside. And we have lesbians who are like, oh, we're not attracted to your dick, we can buy our own dick. And then you have sapiosexuals who are like, oh, we're attracted to your Harvard degree. But there's no word for us. It is sad. Also, okay, so I moved here for the program from Pakistan, which is a very Muslim country, and I had never lived independently before without someone telling me what to do and how to do it. And I moved here last June, and then they overturned Roe v. Wade. So I was like, oh, feels like home. Yeah, before that though, it was kind of wild. I was having so much sex, having like Plan B for breakfast. Yeah, it was crazy. Good times. But then, luckily, I read the Psychology Today article, which told me, which is a great source of information. And I'm going to quote directly from it because they quoted this one guy. And also, I need to get into character for this, so just a second. Yeah, man. There's I was sleeping with one girl every night. And the reason why I stopped, essentially, it was life had no purpose anymore. It's like every girl I would sleep with and have sex with, it was like tearing a part of my soul. And my soul was breaking into fragments, and then I was left with nothing. Yeah, so when I read this at first, I was kind of like, fuck, damn, he was having soul-splitting sex, and he stopped. And also, like, why didn't anyone tell Lord Voldemort about this? You know, my guy who was going around the Forbidden Forest, slaughtering slaughtering unicorns, murdering babies, and all they needed to do was make a Tinder account and come up with creative uses for the Wingardium Leviosa spell. You know, that's the levitating spell. That's gonna be good in the bedroom. Yeah. Okay. So I was born here though, and I did grow up here. And growing up in an immigrant family was a little difficult. It was hard. Like my mother was always trying to save money. She turned bulk buying and couponing into an extreme sport, and but then I realized as I grew up that my father was a neurologist in California, and so I wasn't being raised poor. I was just being raised brown. Like I was raised so brown that my mother got mad at me for throwing away the plastic bag, the trash in the good plastic bag. And also it was difficult because nobody really looked like me on TV and in movies. Nobody looked like me, nobody talked like me. And so my father was kind of like, Aisha, don't let them tell you how you can be or who you can be or what you can grow up to be. Only I can do that. And your future husband, who I will pick out for you. But, you know, as I grew up, I kind of realized that, you know, if I didn't have all these challenges to go through, live through, what would my personality be like, you know? Would I be white? Would I be a white man? But the thing is, I kind of like myself, and I don't have time to start a podcast. Also, is it still okay to say white? Yes? Yeah, okay. Because I'm really always afraid that someone's going to stop me and go like, hey Aisha, we don't say white anymore. That's insensitive. We say culturally bleached. Okay. Thank you, everyone.